And now, please join me in welcoming probably the youngest video game developer in the history of the planet Earth, Owain Weinert. Owen?
I'm here to tell you today that wishes really do come true. I chose my wish to have my video game created because I thought, well, if I do this, another kid with an iPad somewhere, maybe even the hospital, might have fun. And when you get a wish that helps you and helps hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of other kids around the globe, you take it as soon as possible. Make-A-Wish really did change who I am, and they opened up a lot of career options for me. There's a toddler in the hospital that I know called Adaric. Well, not in the hospital anymore, but he went home, and when he grows up, Make-A-Wish will probably approach him and say, hey, you had cancer when you were little. We want to give you a wish, even if it is a little late. And when he grows up, then he's going to need some funding to do that wish. So, anyways, Make-A-Wish is a great organization, and I love video games, but I also love video game design. I have an overactive imagination, you could probably say that. And it used to be in kindergarten, first and second grade, I would go out on the playground with my friends, and by the end, we would be discussing what superheroes or whatever we would be. And I was never like Superman or Spider-Man. I was always somebody from my own imagination, whether it be a flying guy with wings that controlled the power of shadow or whatever, or a robot with laser cannons attached to its head. But I loved to create things, and now one of my creations has been put into reality. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish, what can I say for them? I think it's already all been said, pretty much. But I'm just gonna put a little emphasis on that and say, oh my God, this is a great organization. Donate, 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 donate. Thank you.
Wait, Owen, come back here. Owen, come back here. One more item.
And I have a whole bunch of people at PopCap to thank too, of course. So, including somebody that is about to speak right now. Matt Johnston, who is going to talk about how cool my wish was. Please put your hands together for him. Matt?
Thanks, Owen. We love Owen so much. The Make-A-Wish Foundation wanted me to give you a brief background on PopCap, probably just so that you understood why the weird guy with the hat was given such a great opportunity and privilege to get up here and speak to you this morning. So my name is Matthew Lee Johnston. I'm a senior producer in the studio at PopCap Games. PopCap was started by three guys who were seeking independence and success, but mainly a desire to create entertaining video games for anyone who would want to play them. With a little downloadable computer game called Bejeweled, they ended up creating an entirely new genre of video games called casual games. And they did this by simply making games that appealed to people who weren't gamers. And I always joke with them about this. It's like marketing steaks to vegetarians. It doesn't really make sense. But like many crazy ideas, it totally worked. And now PopCap is thought of as one of the leaders in this new emerging video game market. And now, as part of our new parent company, Electronic Arts, we're set to and poised to be even more successful and have a great future. So I'm really proud of being a part of PopCap. When I came to PopCap 5 years ago, I was drawn there by my passion for creating video games, but I stayed because of the culture that these people had created for their employees. And at the core of PopCap is this incredible human quality, and it manifests itself in many ways, but the best way I can express it is this sort of untenable generosity. And I say that because every time I hear about Katie Cox here, who is part of our workforce culture team, every time she announces some new sort of giving campaign or fund drive or volunteer day, I just wonder, like, how can we afford to not be in the office so often? Or, but then I realized that the core value of giving that's interwoven into our company culture, it really does translate to this positive net benefit to our bottom line, and that is the soul of the company. It really does raise the value of the soul of the company and feeds the soul of the company. And I think that what I've come to realize by working at PopCap is that a healthy soul really does make your company more successful. And so that's why I love working at PopCap. So Owen's wish. Occasionally I have to do press, and Owen's game always comes up. And I always make the point that Make-A-Wish got Owen through the door, but we would have worked with this kid no matter what. He's that great. So when Katie, whose primary job is to make sure we're generous enough, sent out the email asking a small group of us if we'd be interested in helping with Owen's wish, it said that he was asking several game companies, and they were just sort of asking us. And my initial reaction was like, oh my God, we have to get this. Like, don't let anybody else take this opportunity away from us. But it also said that he wanted to make a first-person shooter, which isn't really our thing. They're usually kind of violent, and to me it meant that this kid probably plays Halo all day, and he thinks of our games as like the games his mom plays while she's waiting for him to get home from school, and they're lame. And but we're like, let's do it anyway. Like, we'll pretend like we're really the real game developers that make this Halos and stuff like that, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure out later what to do about it. So before he's coming into the office, and we're like, okay, let's get the PopCap All-Stars. We'll set them up in our biggest conference room, all around the table, and we're gonna really put on kind of a show, right? We're gonna make him feel like a real game developer, a real game designer, and this is gonna be awesome. And we're really gonna create this experience for him, right? But that's totally not how it happened. So. So I walk in the room a little late because, unfortunately, that's something that I do a lot, and it's not deliberate. Honestly, it's not. I don't do it on purpose. But walk in there, he's already got his laptop set up, and he's got the first slide of his PowerPoint presentation already on the screen, and it's like he's kind of disappointed that I'm late, and I'm just like, wow, okay. So then I'm going to try to paraphrase a little bit, and I'm going to do my best Owen impression, but I didn't know he was actually talking today, so it's hard to follow that. But he's like, okay, so you're a military genius who has just been released from cryosleep. Your brilliance in the Lunar War convinced the ASP, Allied Star Police, to put you in cryogenic slumber, just in case World War III showed up. Now, it's not exactly World War III, more like Galactic War I. Yeah, so he proceeds to run us through the entire game, okay? He's got the narrative. This is his first slide, by the way. He's got the narrative. He's got an avatar description. He's got the vehicles. One of which is, of course, a hovercraft super vehicle, which is the next slide. You'll want to pay close attention to this. Very important vehicle. He even defined the level structure and the difficulty ladder. And he had his credits. Like, he already had, like, the dedications and the credits ready to go for the end of the game. So we all had it totally wrong. We thought we were going to, like, help carry this kid through the process. And in turn, he totally flipped it on us. And suddenly we were all working for Owen. And the crazy thing about this is he took control of the entire team, and he greenlit his own project in a 45-minute meeting. And I've been in the industry for 17 years, and I've never, ever seen anyone greenlight their own project. This is a first in the game industry. So the first thing we did was we're like, okay, Owen, I was really concerned about his expectations because, he wanted to make a first-person shooter, and we were only going to spend like 2 weeks on this. And so we started to level his expectations a little bit, and we're like, hey, here are some changes that we can make to the game that will make it a little bit more PopCap and a little bit more doable. And I was expecting him to kind of get disappointed and stuff, and he was totally like, oh, yeah, that totally works. Like, I get it. I understand. We only have 2 weeks, and okay. And, I was really looking for, like, a hint of disappointment in his face, and he just, like, totally was not there, right? And I just immediately recognized that his ability to sort of like prioritize and reason through these issues was so well developed because he conceded on that point, but then he was so not flexible on so many other things. And he totally like just knew which battles to pick. We showed him the art. He was coming in for all of these review meetings, and he came in and he was looking at this one screen. We had some of the art characters drawn out, and he was just like, this is space, you guys. These guys need helmets. They don't have helmets. Okay, you're totally right. So we worked on the game for 2 weeks, and we had this launch party for him. And for us, it was like, a first playable build and an alpha, which what we call an alpha, and it's basically a proof of concept for the game and something that we would show sort of senior leadership to get a project greenlit. Of course, he had already greenlit the project, but it's basically a proof of concept. And Katie organized a great party, and there was pizza, and we made T-shirts, and he came in a limo, and we gave him the game to try. There were these emails going around like, okay, everybody, like, I'm really concerned that Owen's gonna like get kind of let down by this experience. Because the game's not finished and we've only spent 2 weeks on it and stuff. And let's go to the next slide. As you can see, he was totally not let down. So the cool thing about this, and you can see him playing the game with his friends and stuff, is that he sat down with the iPad and he immediately started playing the game so intuitively. It was like he had played it in his mind a million times before. And he had, right? Because this was his design, this was his game. And to me, this was just such a great validation of our execution of his idea and of his sort of management of the team. It was a perfect sort of match, and here he was sitting down, validating everything that we'd done and all the decisions that we had made. And so for us, it was very, very gratifying because we felt like we were able to take his vision and make it a reality in 2 weeks. So after that, with such a great experience, we decided, you know what, we need to finish this game properly. So we decided to add 2 months to the schedule. We took a group of people, and actually it does take a lot of people to get these games done and out the door, including QA, which is quality assurance, and release management. And a lot of people pitched in with their own time in the company just to be a part of it because it's so infectious and so such a great experience. And so as a result, Allied Star Police is in the App Store now. It was released. Over 500,000, 500,000 people have downloaded it, and it's one of the highest rated games in the App Store right now. Here's a screenshot, and I think the game was really successful. So, Owen, here's a round of applause for you. And I just wanted to kind of go through really quickly what we learned, what we got out of the process. Owen was a healthy disruption to our day-to-day process, and he totally snapped us out of our old habits and introduced us to a new way of thinking about game development, which for a mature 10-year-old company is actually pretty important. We also learned that great ideas can come from anywhere, but you have to be open to those ideas in order to receive them. So by allowing Owen to come in and be a part of us, he really made our organization so much better. We were also reminded that experience and tenure don't make a great designer, and that sometimes freshness and raw talent is really what you need to make something great. Owen reminded us that making games is supposed to be fun. It was incredibly fun working with him. And finally, we learned that we're all at our best when making people happy. And normally we do that by making games that we love and are proud of for other people to enjoy. But in this case, we were making Owen happy, making other people happy with his game, which is like some super exponential happiness factor of 1,000,000 that I can't even get my head around. But it was really, really a great thing to be a part of. So from the entire team at PopCap, Owen, I want to say thank you to you, to Make-A-Wish, for allowing us to be a part of this, to Owen's family, but really to Owen for being our partner, our teacher, and our friend. Thank you.